Hello and welcome back. You are an entire solar system. What does that mean? Your whole life and everything inside of that life is the solar system. You are the sun. The sun provides the light, the energy per se, to all of the different planets. What are the planets? Relationships, friends, romantic relationships, your job, your hobbies, values, belief systems, what's important to you, purpose. You see where I'm going with that, right? The things that make up a fulfilled human being. Now, why I'm bringing this up is because we often get stuck on shining our light onto one planet at a time. In turn, neglecting giving balanced energy to all these other aspects that make you who you are. In turn, making it extremely difficult for you to uncover and understand your authentic self. Now, why is it hard to do that when you only focus on one planet at a time? Because your authentic nature does not lie within how much money you make. Your authentic nature doesn't rely on what clothes you wear, what style you do your hair, things like that. Your authenticity is what depicts those things. Your authenticity is built off of your values and your belief system. And if you only have values and belief systems under the category of money-making planet, then you're saying your authentic nature is that of only making money. Which is totally not correct. But some people can have that view upon themselves, right? We can't take that away. But you wouldn't actually know until you balance those other planets. Because that is when you will uncover and discover more of your values and beliefs through your personal experiences. If you are only having one avenue of personal experiences, you will not develop the totality of the full spectrum of self, in turn having a misguided understanding of who you are authentically. And then we attach. That's the next step, attachments. And then you attach to the job, you attach to the relationship, you attach to a codependent relationship, you attach to hobbies, you attach to these things as your identity. Yet if we were to strip the world of external attachments, of material possession and external material attachments, how would you figure out your authentic nature then? It's through your personal experiences, how one handles said personal experiences. Well, I wrote this all down. So like your personality, and you determine your personality through communication styles, body language, decision making. What determines your personality? Subjective experiences, individual interaction with your environment. So what does that mean? That means how one communicates, body language, decision making, and how one interacts with one's environment is the key to uncovering one's authentic nature. So if you're always just in one planet, of experience, you're only uncovering how you communicate, utilize body language and decision making, and interact in that one environment, which is only going to last you so far because that environment is subject to change. That is why I'm bringing up that we are the entire solar system. So we have recognition of you actually don't know the full totality of self until you put yourself into those 9 other different planets. Until you give energy from the sun, from the center of the universe, onto equally all of the planets of life. Which includes fun, by the way. But like, your raw interaction with things, going back to interacting with one's environment. If you don't like something, you don't pretend you do. That's like the simplest way, the simplest boiled down explanation of figuring out one's identity. Stop lying to yourself. Stop convincing yourself that this is for you, or this is who you are, or this is just the convincing of that the whole... When you have to convince yourself that this is who I am, then it's not who you are. Your authentic nature is what comes easily and naturally. And also, personally, what has helped me figure out my authentic nature is my capability on the self-mastery journey. Because through that, it kind of like, once you focus on the self-mastery journey, which is freaking all-encompassing, you don't really got a lot of time for anything else. But so when you're doing that, you don't really have time to entertain masks and fakeness and lying and the placation of others. You just don't have it in you anymore. And that's why with many of my clients, what I suggest to them when they're doing this journey is like the authenticity journey is to pair it with the self-mastery journey. Start with mastering self, and you will then learn more about authentic self. Because within the self-mastery journey is accomplishing. Here, I have the definition for that too for you. Self-mastery, when you have developed the ability to control yourself in all situations. All of them. All the planets. Not just one, all of them. You move forward consciously, mindfully, intentionally, and steadily towards your goals. You know your purpose, and you have the self-discipline needed to do things in a deliberate, focused, and honorable way. That helps you figure out who you are. Because if you don't do this yet, you are stuck in old programming and believing that you are the old program. So when you start to switch your lifestyle to that of which control of self in all situations, moving forward consciously and steadily towards your goals, you know your purpose, you have the self-discipline needed to do things in a deliberate, focused, and honorable way. So self-discipline, honor, deliberate, focused, mindfulness, consciously, steadily, like, hear all those key words. If those are not values or belief systems within you now, then you are currently operating off of untrained brain, programmed brain from other external sources, or one's own trauma, or one's own lack of motivation due to trauma, or never learning how to access their own motivation, which is a thing, by the way. You don't just wake up and have it. You gotta work on the tools that help you obtain and maintain motivation. Those are the things we need to train our brains with. And if you don't have those skills yet, then you are not operating from a self-controlled, self-mastered mind. You are being controlled. You are being controlled by your habits. You are being controlled by your old programs and beliefs and values. And you want to shift them so that you can maintain a life of this self-mastery journey. Now, obviously, this is a personal choice. You don't have to. You are more than welcome to be a victim of your own mind. Some people live a very happy life that way. Sometimes it works out for them, Personally, didn't work out. I wasn't born with, or maybe I was born with it, but then the programming that happened didn't set me up for a self-mastery journey. It set me up to self-sabotage. So I had to unlearn the self-sabotaging behaviors and cutting those out, which came with cutting out a lot of people too, because nobody hangs out with you anymore when you're on this journey. And that also helps you delineate who's actually there for you and not. Who's actually the people that are going to supply some kind of thing, some kind of extra to your life. We don't enter people in our lives who drain. We don't enter codependency. However, I got everything good in my life, yet you people that are entered add to it in a positive way, in a way that I didn't know I could even additionalize to in that way. That might have been a made up word, but then that is the goal. You're not looking for attracting people, places, things, ideas to fill holes in your own self. You must master self, learn your authentic nature, attract the people that are being called to you through that authentic nature and through those values and beliefs. And then those are the people that'll end up adding to your life. It's funny, but also not funny, but in my mind it's a little funny now thinking about it, is it's very easy for me to know when someone's entering my life that's going to detour my consistency of strive towards my goals. It's very easy. It's just one or two things that person says or does, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to talk to you anymore. Don't worry about it. Or if they try to convince me of something no, you either meet me on my level or vibrate out. It's freedom. This is freedom. Self-mastery equals freedom. Self-discipline equals freedom. I know when we're kids, we don't think like that. We're self-discipline and doing chores and responsibility is that's taking away of our freedoms. But it's actually not, because you were not free as a child. You were still under the rules and the household obligation of your family. So you had a misguided understanding of what freedom was. True freedom is the self-discipline to master your life. Master yourself is mastering your life. That is true freedom. Because when one masters self, clarity is quite easy to find. And we are not stuck in the rigmarole of repetition of just repetition of crap, basically. My goal, this is how I am on the inside, but my goals in life are always exceeding the goal before it. That's evolution of growth. Now, if we get detoured off of that and wrapped up in the trivial, in my opinion, you cut out that trivial. You don't entertain it. You don't give energy to it. You recognize it's trying to detour you off of your goals of growth. It can be as simple as a friend trying to make you feel bad about something. Yo, don't make me feel bad. Just open up a line of convo in the moment. Don't wait 3 days. Don't wait the next day. In the moment, advocate for yourself. You don't like what's going on, you got it. And then I will move accordingly. And if you don't give me that opportunity to find a common denominator, find a middle ground, if you don't give me that opportunity and then scold me later, that's on you. Because if you were to voice yourself in the moment, you would have given me the opportunity to compromise for you and meet you in that middle ground. When somebody does not do that with me, they are not looking for solution. They are not looking for compromise. They are looking to scold me, and I don't got time for that. See the difference there? And then that's how I know, because the only person that's allowed to scold me, and I still don't like it, but that's my mom or my parents. You know what I mean? They're the only people that are allowed to, throw that at you, because I have respect for my parents. I love my family, and that's, but at the same time, there's also boundaries with that. If they were to become disrespectful, which they don't, but if they were to, I would have to advocate for myself in that moment and allow them the opportunity to compromise. Because that is a mature, that follows with my morals and values. It follows with their morals and values. It gives everybody an opportunity to meet on the same plane of existence. And now there's nobody up here, nobody down here. We're all equal. We're all on the same freaking page of life, man. We're all just living here for the first freaking time. We're meant to be trying to figure this stuff out. And if we don't allow the opportunity for that change in the moment, then that's disrespectful, in my opinion. So you're cut out. Whatever, bro. Because I believe that at this stage of where I am, personally, what I'm doing in this journey, I don't have time for that. So to me, yeah, that's a sidestep off of my own path of my goals, of a fulfilled life. If so bye-bye, whatever, dude. You had the opportunity and you missed it. I forgot why we got on that tangent, but reeling it back in here. The point is, it makes it a lot easier for you to recognize when someone's trying to sabotage your self-confidence, is what I'm getting at. Because if you're on this journey and you're feeling real good and confident about yourself, and somebody says, oh, hey, you're stepping on my toe. Do you mind getting off my toe? And you're like, oh, my bad, bro. I didn't realize I was on your toe. Done. Everyone's confidence is still intact and we move forward. If you wait till the next day and you send me a message or you call me and you're like, bro, I can't believe you effing stepped on my toe for that long last night. That was absolutely ridiculous. Don't you know my toes hurt? I'm sorry. See the difference? Now you've dropped. No. So that's how you can recognize those things that are trivial versus the things that are actually playing into your self-growth and your journey, your healing journey, and your self-mastery journey. Also, people are allowed to not agree with where you are. That's fine. But if you don't meet me in a respectful compromise, you try to tear down whatever I'm doing, once again, because this is what this journey does. The self-mastery journey, the authenticity journey, the healing journey. This just all brings you closer to recognizing that it's you against you. And that is the hardest battle of them all. So when external people enter into that, and make it you versus them, I will cut them out before anything. Because my goal of life is me and overcoming myself and getting out of my own way. And then the people that are involved in my life within that journey respect that journey. They also are aware of that presence and acknowledge that respectfully, and also they're on that journey too. Trust me, you can't be hanging out. If a bunch of dogs have fleas and you don't have fleas, you don't hang out with the dogs with fleas. You're gonna catch fleas next. Same goes for procrastination, laziness, lack of purpose, lack of motivation. If you have all those things, but you hang out with people who lack those things, you will be the next one to catch it. Because if you hang out with somebody with insecurity, they will make damn sure they drop you down to their insecure level. That's you getting the fleas. And like, we can't afford that. And also, I don't know about you guys, but like, it's hard enough getting out of my own way. I don't need problems with actual other people. Like, sure, if I've disrespected you in some way, I'd love for you to tell me that in a polite, respectful, non-pointing finger, judgmental way, because I might not have recognized that. And we're tangenting again. But self-mastery journey. I'll read that one more time. When you have developed the ability to control yourself in all situations and you move forward consciously and steadily towards your goals, you know your purpose and you have the self-discipline needed to do things in a deliberate, focused, and honorable way. If you lack self-discipline, that's where you start. That's where you start. You lack honor, that's where you start. If you lack all of it, pick one to start with, and you just start working on that. Do you white lie to placate the feelings of others? Then that's not honoring yourself. So you're not honorable. So go start there. Start practicing speaking your mind respectfully, but not lying. If you lack the self-discipline, focus on that. What do you need to do to be more disciplined? How do you obtain that? What models, what structures can you put in place? And if you don't do things in a deliberate or focused way either, like, it ain't cute to be frivolous anymore. It ain't cute. It ain't cute to be like, and like not know what the hell you're doing. It's not cute anymore. Like, cute on the level of, oh, look, she's out in the field and that's so nice. But at the same time, her laundry's done, her dishes are done. Like, she got her shit together, but she's like lackadaisically out frolicking in the flowers, being la-da-da. Different. It's different. You can't be lackadaisical with life, though. You can't frolic through life. And I'm telling you this from personal experience as one who tried to frolic through life. It makes life incredibly harder. It ain't a field. Life's not a field to frolic in. You got brain pathways to program and unprogram. You've got discipline to master. You've got clarity of intention to master. You've got focus to master. Does that mean you can't frolic inside of life? No, you definitely can, but you can't just frolic throughout the entirety of life and not pay attention to your own responses to things or your own actions or how you interact with your environment. Like, no. It's fun for a while until the second something hard happens and you have zero freaking skills to handle the problem. It ain't cool. Trust me. And that problem can also just be emotional regulation. You don't really get that through frolicking. Frolicking is all pleasure. And what's pleasure? It's rooted in attachment. And what's rooted in attachment? Tethering to hell on earth. For real. When you overindulge your every pleasure and overindulgence just in general, you've already entered the space of lack of self-worth, lack confidence, and that will tether you to hell on earth. It's crazy to think that, though. Like, we look at everything else to change our lives when it truly comes down to the rewiring of your own brain. To become the observer of one's mind. That's how we take the control back. You have no control over the ebbs and flows of life. You don't have control over that. How you respond and handle the ebbs and flows is where your control and your power lies within. And if we are not pushing ourselves to interact and balance our energy focus on all the planets of our solar system, we will not be putting ourselves through practice of self-mastery, because you can just master this one avenue. Good for you. Like, great, you mastered your job. That's so awesome. What's your friendship life look like? What are your hobbies look like? What do you do for fun? What do you do on the weekends? You know, things like that. Like, because it's through those avenues as well that you help learn more about yourself, how you respond to fun, how you interact with your friends and things like that. Like, these help fine-tune you, the statue of David of self. If you only focus on the one planet, you're gonna have a super good chiseled like face, and like you're just a block of marble everywhere else. So you're like, everyone just look at my face. Yeah, but we don't just see that. You know, it's like, oh, everyone just look how good I do at my job, and then, you know, decide my value and my personality off of that. It's impossible. It is. You're not well-rounded, so how am I going to make a well-rounded assumption of reading your energy and kind of sussing out your vibe? Because it's all down to subtle energy, right? And also doing that, balancing across all 9 planets, really just chills you the F out. I don't know how to really explain that, but I just feel like way more chill of a person, because like I don't got really time for drama, and I also don't have time to try and prove myself to other people. It doesn't matter. I got 9 planets to give energy to. I'm busy. And it just humbles you down. It also, you don't get as, like, heart ratey about stuff either. Like, people can say stuff to you or whatever they want, and you're just like, oh, okay, ha, 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 that's how you think? I'm not gonna hang out with them anymore. You know? It doesn't just, like, skyrocket your heart juices into the freaking ionosphere. Like, I hate that. That's been my biggest pet peeve my whole life, is the fact that that's how my heart rate was all the time. And guess what? It doesn't actually need to be. It doesn't. That's when it's like that all the time. It's because you're unsure. You're unsure of some stuff. That's where that anxiety comes in. Like, I have anxiety disorder to begin with. I do not need to feel unsure about other crap in my life. I need to just focus on my 9 planets. I am the sun. What does the sun need to be able to keep shedding energy and light onto those other planets? How do I nurture that sun? How do I maintain its power? How do I keep it self-sustainable? And how do you keep it self-sustainable? Through your non-negotiable needs. Because when you check off all those non-negotiables of self, you end up unlocking and releasing your dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins naturally, which equals self-sustainably. And that is the true freedom of living. It is. I'm not a victim of my own body and mind anymore. I am a soul who needs to do soul shit, and I don't have time to keep fighting with the lack of programming in my own mind and my own body. No, we need to get these things on board so that we can fulfill soul purpose, guys. Like, what are we doing slacking off over here? And it's not about, like, looks or appearance. Like, whenever I'm telling people that I'm, like, starting my workout journey, they're like, oh, you don't need to. Like, can you? Shut up! It's evolution. It's the self-mastery journey. If I don't believe my body's up to snuff to where my soul wants it to be, then I'm gonna freaking work out. It has nothing to do with how much I weigh. It's not about that. I need this body functional to play out my soul's intentions. I don't got time. How many years do we have on this planet? You want to spend it being lazy? For what? For what? Pleasure? You know what's more pleasurable? Creating the freaking life you deserve. And if you have mental health challenges and traumas, PTSD, and things of that nature that are holding you back right now, trust me, there are tools and there are structures to help you overcome. You will never go back to who you were, but you can keep growing with integrating those experiences. You are now a new person. And we can still do this journey even with your own personal unique needs. It's possible. Trust me. It is. And we can't always blame our pasts for our lack of action in our present. There's only a certain amount of time you can do that. And I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds lack of empathy, but it's not. It's because I have compassion for you, which is empathy in action, meaning I know you can overcome. Because we can. It doesn't mean that the way you're going to do it or the way it might be similar to mine because we have similar backgrounds, but you might need a different tool. It's going to look different for everybody. But you cannot lean on the programmings of your past forever because you do not deserve to throw your future in the trash because of some scumbags in your past. Do you see what I'm saying about that? Like, they took from you and that freaking sucked, but we can't allow them to also take your entire life. You deserve better. You didn't deserve your past, but you do deserve a future, and that is completely up to you. So what do you want? What do you want from this life? And then you master yourself. You carve yourself into that most perfect statue that can obtain what you want. It's so possible. We are evolutionary creatures. That means we need that. We need self-mastery. And if you're not on the journey, I urge you to get on it now. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Your brain, neuroplasticity, is a scientific thing. We can keep training and retraining our brain. You can decide at 60 that you want better for your life, and you can still get the next 40 odd years, right? It's a long time. Don't give up already. It's a lot more time than you think. So let's get focused. And also, have fun. I'm not saying that I don't have fun. I definitely have fun. But the fun is still in alignment with who I am and my goals and my morals and my values. I don't really hang out with anybody who smokes cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. So I'm not trying to have to take 1,000 breaks throughout the hangout to go sit outside with a bunch of people smoking. I quit smoking 2 years ago, and if I see people smoking, the only thing I do is remind them that it's possible to quit because every time you do that, you're just chipping away your lung functioning, So, yeah. That's the self-mastery journey. Now I got nobody who smokes in front of me because my authentic nature cannot help it but to tell them your life could be so much better and your confidence could be so much more empowered and your life could just be better, man, if you don't smoke cigarettes. And these are good things. These are good things. Why not push your friends for ultimate health? Why not? We're not, I'm turning 34 this year. It's not funny or cute anymore to just waste your life. It's just not. And that wasting, the opposition to wasting it does not mean being freaking over accomplishing 24 hours a day. That's not it. That's just not it. It's the balance of all the planets, which includes rest, which includes play, which includes hobbies, but which also includes responsibilities, chores, job, yada, yada, yada. It's the integration and the balance of all of these things. And that skyrockets your confidence. And in turn, when you are at your top confidence, not ego confidence, I mean like true humbled confidence, you then know who you are. Because you're like, whoa, I didn't know how powerful I was, but I hum like a power line. I don't explode like a broken transformer. Like, and then that, you just keep building. You're like, I can do anything, and like, then you start just speaking freely, but respectfully, because you've mastered your dialectic, self-mastery. So then you're not afraid of any situation or conversation because you trust yourself, because you know you've mastered your dialectics. You mastered your pause before respond. You've mastered. So you go into everything confidently and in turn, authentically. Because you don't have to put on a mask, or you don't have to placate. You don't have to do any of that, because you can still stand your ground, you can still speak your truth, and you can still have opinions and still be uncontrollably respectful. You can still say hard things, hard conversations with people with opinions in a respectful way where both the giver of that information and the receiver walk away satisfied. So why do I need to fake? Why do I ever need to step out of my authenticity? And that's why we master these skills. So that you can allow your authentic nature to blossom inside the safety and security of your self-mastery. Oh, baby! Some good shit right there. Some good food for thought. Allow a safe space for your authentic nature. We mentioned a couple videos ago how self-validation provides a safe space for your authentic nature to arise and respond in a way that is authentic. Dialectical behavior. But now we're evolving that, and it's now not only does that create a safe place for you to speak your truth. That's your throat chakra. We're moving now into the totality of self, that the safe space is now the self-mastery for the authentic nature to blossom and bloom and let it frolic. Now your authentic nature can frolic because you have the structure of self-mastery. And so you are able to respond in any situation in a dialectical way, in an effective communication way, in a way that aligns with your goals, morals, and values, and your persistency towards your goals. Like, that provides a safe place for your authentic nature to just be, because you're not afraid anymore. Because you know you're not gonna start an uprising or anything like that, because you've got the mastery skills to respond, to observe, to be non-judgmental, to create effective communication dialogue, and all these other awesome skills. Yeah. And then, it's crazy because I find that the more self-mastery I practice and keep evolving within self, the less I really care about trivial stuff. I don't find boredom. That is not a word in my vocabulary. I don't even know what that is. I used to when I was not working on this stuff, but boredom is kind of a choice, really. And it means you're not doing enough into whatever goal that you're working on. You're not doing enough. So, yeah, because there's just always something to do, that pushes towards that next thing. Even if that something to do is baking cookies. Like I said, this is not equal. Self-mastery does not equal hustle, boss babe queen, or hustle, success, whatever. It just doesn't equal that. It's the point of being able to balance your accomplishments amongst all those different planets, the hobbies, the friends, the rest, the trying something new, being creative. Human beings need to create, man. A child understood this concept the other day when I broke it down to him, and he finished my sentence for me. I said, I had said to him, like, oh crap, what was I saying about this? Shit, I just forgot for a second. Oh, so a kid understood this. I said to him, like, we have to create as human beings. And he was like, why? And I was like, because look at all the animals. Like, you see a squirrel, and he does his squirrel job, right? The kid immediately understood right when I said the analogy about the squirrel. And then this is what a kid, not a teenager, like a freaking 10 or 11-year-old kid said back to me. He goes, right, because the squirrel's main priority and his biggest fear is not having enough food for over the winter. But we don't have to busy ourselves with those same types of fears. So we have the privilege, I mean, maybe he didn't use the word privilege, but he said we have the time, we have the space, we have the capability to then create, because we are not bound by the imprisonment structure of the squirrel. And it's because of that privilege that we obtain as human beings that opens up the lay of the land for creation. And if you're not creating, then you might as well just be a squirrel. You might as well just be an animal, because you're not fulfilling the one thing that human beings are able to do, separate from animals. To have that self-awareness, to have that complex thinking, to have a consciousness of creation, and then to neglect that need and not carry out a creative endeavor is, once again, you're not supporting the evolutionary growth of humanity. And I love that this 11-year-old boy understood that. And he walked away more inspired and motivated to create in his life. Because that is all we need to do. Create your life. Create within your life. Create yourself. Self-master that self. Like, that is our point here. Use the evolutionary gifts we were given. And if you don't, you will feel a lack of purpose, you will feel stagnant, and you will spiral, and your mental health will go down the drain. And that's why sometimes my first homework assignment for clients when we're working on this is like, give me a couple things you like to do that you don't do, like coloring, dancing, singing, like, like stuff like that are creation of things. Like I'm creating sound, or I'm creating a picture, these small creations. And I say, like, that's something to go work on for the next 2 weeks until I see you, or the next week till I see you again. Just create within, you don't have to invent anything new, just create within a small structure, and then you already start to feel how that plays into your own personal power and your solar plexus and your empowerment. Just those small creations. And then that gains the motivation to want to create other things, which then builds into the idea of, I need to master myself if I want to be able to create my life. So you start small until you can get to that idea, that aha moment that's like, I want to create my life now. Like, I don't want to be a victim of my life. I want to create it. And it starts from recognizing that it is our purpose to create, which you can gain that through small creative endeavors. All right. Have a great day. Speaking of baking cookies, I'm doing that right now. I'm going to go kick the rest of those. Finished my chores for the day, so the end is just cookies. I already did my work. And it feels so great because then I'm going to relax as the treat. The movie and the snacks and the cookies are the treat for the self-discipline that was maintained throughout the day, even though I didn't feel like it. Like, yeah. Adult your inner child. If you do all your chores and you work good at your job, I'll get you the cookies. Yay. It works and it's great and I love it. Have a great day.